everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this Thursday, very evening here in Romania, and probably mid-afternoon almost in Canada.
Oh no,
No.
we're in Charleston, South Carolina. And
Okay, so you're in the Airbnb. Okay, I'm messing it up right now.
that's
Cool.
okay. That's
Okay. It's okay. I won't edit this. I won't edit this. So I'm here with Stacey Pierce and Julie Weldon, and they are the co-founders of OME Gear. I hope I'm saying it right.
OME Gear.
Okay, so it's the actual acronym. So
yeah.
OME Gear.
You got
And
it.
for everyone who wants to check it out right now, it's OMEGear, altogether.com. And of course, tonight, a special appearance from my co-host, Valentin.
Yeah, she's just messing with me because I missed the last episode.
Oh, you missed two.
Yeah, the last episodes. Okay.
So thank you guys for taking the time to come here today. I'm super excited about this episode. I'm gonna, as I told you before we started before we went live, I'm gonna pretend I know nothing and I haven't done any research. But I want to start with the first question that I'm asking everyone. How did you guys got into e-commerce? Because right now you are the co-founders of an e-commerce brand, and I want to know, how did you get into this? Because it's always an accident for how people get into e-commerce. So what was your case?
That's funny that you call it an accident because in a lot of ways you're right. I mean, it was an accident for me. So I'm Jules and that's Stace, just so that you know who's who. A lot of people say we look like sisters. We're not sisters.
We're actually married.
We're actually married to each other. But yeah, so
just know that when people live too much together, they start to look alike. I get this a lot, but the funny part is my husband is black. So people are telling me that we all look alike. and I'm like, sure, why not? You know? So I can see that. I can see that happening. But yeah, go on.
But in your case, it's happening for sure.
So I'll make the story short because it's actually a 20-year story. So my parents invented a concept of our product 20 years ago. So it was just a 2-in-1. They ended up getting it patented and tried to take it to market, but just ran out of money. And honestly, they just didn't know how to do it. And so they let it sit on the shelf for 12 years. And so fast forward to 2010, I was working for a large business management consulting firm here in the United States and was working 80 hours a week and just wanted something that I could focus on to be mine. And so I woke up, those moments where you just don't ever forget them. So at 1:30 in the morning, I woke up and my mind was racing and I was like, I want something that I can focus on to be mine. And I immediately thought of my dad's invention. And so the next morning at 8:30 in the morning, I remember I called him at 8:30 and I said, Dad, what would you think about me trying to take your product to market? And my dad is absolutely one of my heroes and now one of Stace's heroes, but he's just an awesome man. And he started crying and he said, honey, that would be a dream come true. You can have everything. I'll sign the patent over to you. So he did. He gave me all his drawings. And by that point, 12 years later, they were just old. They were really big and plastic. And I knew I needed to change the design. So I did. Ended up partnering with a manufacturing firm in the US. And it was a partnership that I didn't want to be a part of. Our values did not align. And my values and Stacey's values, they mean a lot to us. And so if we're partnered with people that don't align, then typically we'll veer away from them. And so after a couple of years, we ended up taking it to market, sold about $250,000 worth of product, which is not a lot, but we were getting started. And I ended up walking away. I walked away from everything. One of the hardest moments of my life, because I was walking away from my dream and my parents' dream. So I walked away, ended up getting a job. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we have shrimp boats here in Charleston, South Carolina for shrimp. And so I ended up getting a job making $10 an hour on the shrimp boats. I wasn't on the shrimp boats.
She went from making in the high six figures
with my own company
to walking away overnight and getting a $10 an hour job.
Yeah, but money isn't everything, right? Money's not everything. I mean, when your soul's not happy, money doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it wasn't about the $10 an hour. It was about being able to heal my soul from what I just walked through. So I did that. And after 9 months, Stace got tired of me coming home smelling like shrimp. And so then she and I started a business management consulting firm. So why don't you take it from there?
And we're going to get to your question.
I know, sorry.
Eventually,
No, I like it. I like it.
No worries.
Because neither one of us come from the product space. Both of us come from service industries. My background is occupational therapy. I've been on the ground floor of 9 startups that are all service-based companies, not products. And so actually we kind of did end up in the e-commerce by accident, but with the products now that we're taking to market. But so we started our business coaching firm called A Salty Rim. And the reason is A Salty Rim is because we love margaritas. But in all actuality, salt heals and salt preserves. And really the missing ingredient in every recipe, even a sweet recipe, is salt. And so that's all you always hear it on cooking shows. Oh, you need more salt. You're missing that. So we were like, let's do, most of the companies we work with, and we've had over 100 clients in the past 4.5 years. And the missing ingredient was them not knowing something or feeling alone. There's always a missing ingredient in their business. So we come in and our tagline is, we'll help you eat your elephant with a dash of salt, one bite at a time. So we started that in 2015. And then in about 2016, we live at the beach, and we are 3 miles from the beach, and we're like, the product, not our product at the time, but her product, no one had taken it. No one had taken the idea. No one had taken the concept. Everything out there was still junk. And we were like, okay, we have something here. And we knew the product that she had taken to market before had some problems, had some issues. It was bulky. Had a lot of plastic on it. So we were like, okay, what can we do? We can take consumer feedback, and we can draw on that, and we can, really sharpen our pencils on a product, and that's going to solve problems for people getting outside. And so we partnered with a design firm called RCO out of Detroit, Michigan. They do all seating and positioning for Tesla and Gulfstream jets. And so we went to the experts on seating. And that's when we worked with them, and we were able to design what you see now on our website, is the 5-in-1, the Wanderr. And so, but without e-commerce, we wouldn't be in business. So, I mean, it's kind of we need to be, we need to have an e-commerce site for customers, because one of our main verticals is the direct consumer.
Got it. So just to make sure that everyone is aligned, so the product that you're talking about is the Wanderr. And actually, I was reading it because it has 2 R's, and I was like, the Wanderer, which is probably something you might get a lot. And so this is a chair, guys. It's a beach chair, just like put it in plain words. But I want you guys to tell me more about the product per se, and what is the job that product does for someone that decides to hire.
Yeah, so it's actually a 5-in-1 product, and it's actually named after my dad. So my dad's nickname, a really endearing nickname, is the Wanderr, because he'll leave the house and just go to all different stores to where all of his friends, he's built relationships with friends, wander around and just talk to people. He's a big relationship
guy. And he thinks he's Elvis.
He does. Yeah. But yeah, so it's a 5-in-1 product, and good for any outdoor activity. So not just for the beach, but it's for camping, festivals, any kind of like fishing, camping, hunting, kids sporting events. So anyway, it's good for any outdoor activity where you need to haul stuff, because it's a cart. One of the modes is a cart. It hauls 150 pounds of gear, comes with a bungee net to keep it all in. And then once you get where you're going and unload it, it actually turns into 4 different seating positions. So a higher off the ground, like camping field chair, then a lower to the ground, which would typically be used at the beach, chair, and then a fully reclining lounge chair, and then a camping cot or a bench that multiple people can sit on. And for us, quality was really important because in the outdoor space of seating and hauling stuff, it's a lot of junk, like Stacey mentioned. And so we said if we were going to put a product into the market, it was going to be a product that we were really proud of, that was actually a quality product. And so that's what we've designed with the Wanderr.
Do you ship to Europe?
What's
exactly.
that? We will. We will, for sure.
And so that's why if you go back to the name OME Gear, it's oceans plus mountains equals earth.
Equals earth, yeah.
And so we needed it to be all encompassing. We didn't want to put a timeline or a season on our product. We wanted to make sure that it's anytime you need to carry something and have a seat when you get there, or if you don't want to sleep on the ground in your tent, you have your camping chair and then you just roll it right in your tent and you have your camping cot. So we just wanted people to be creative, and we built this 5-in-1, but people are being creative now. People are using it as a bench. Hunters are using it to carry their
Gear, kill.
We have kayak straps that are being made that we can carry up to 2 kayaks or paddle boards. And so people are getting really creative on other things they can do, which is fun to watch.
So let's sum it up, right? So here we have Stacey and Julie. They used to be working in services, doing consulting. They've built their own consulting firm. Then I think Julie, thanks to the dream of her father, she decided to completely shift her life. So she built an actual product, which is not like a simple product. It's a product that it's a 5-in-1 chair, which can transform in 5 different ways, that you can carry anything down the beach or in the mountain or when you're going fishing, and you can take all your stuff and put it in there. And now what you are doing is that you're waiting into an Airbnb so that you can take your RV and do what?
Yeah. Well, first of all, do you want a job as our salesperson?
No.
He would kill it probably.
I'm actually a fractional salesperson right now for you, and you don't have to pay me. You just need to ship this stuff to Europe because I'm an outdoor person.
Valentin is a nomad. Valentin is a nomad.
So yeah, we are nomadic right now. We're entrepreneurs, and as entrepreneurs, you put it all in, and you're asking people to invest in you and your company, and so you have to invest in yourselves and your company. And so in December, this was never a plan that Jules and I would be jumping in an RV, but in December we decided to sell our house, and we said, if we're asking for investors to come in, they have to see we're all in. And so we did. The market over here is crazy busy. And so we were able to sell our house and put that money into our company and pay for our first shipment of Wanderrs to get here so we can start getting them out to the masses. And then we were like, oh, well, am I allowed to cuss on this? Oh, shit. We have nowhere to live. So, and so we were like, okay, well, then let's get an RV. Now Jules just turned 50. I'm 49, and we're going to be getting an RV. We already got it. We got it. Her name is Olive, and she's being wrapped right now with our logo and our branding. Yeah. And we're going to take it around the United States. We'll start in North Carolina and go down to Florida, and then we'll be gone for about a year and a half, and we're organically building our company. And I think that,
I'll show the people watching. So this will be our RV. That's our product on the side. And it says, what moves you from sea to shining sea and every mountain in between.
And for who's listening and wants to see the RV, they have to wait until I launch the blog post and use the picture that you sent me. Yeah. I think it looks amazing. So in all this story, I have only one question. So when you were working on a shrimp boat, you obviously took my Eastern European behind to Forrest Gump and Baba. So my question is like, how many things you can eat with shrimp. You have shrimp burgers.
You really like shrimp.
Jules, everything that we said, and that's your only question.
Forrest Gump.
I couldn't.
Well, Baba turned out to be a great entrepreneur, if I recall correctly, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's funny. We were just in the area of South Carolina where they filmed Forrest Gump this past weekend. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of things you can do with shrimp.
There are.
That is fun.
I'm sorry, but this is the type of person that I am. So I want to ask you something. I never seen, I mean, I've seen variations of your product. So lately, right now, Valentin knows why I'm asking these questions. I'm trying to jobs to be done you right now. This is a methodology to understand something about why people hire your product. So I can see a lot of uses for it. But like when you release this product, who are the first people that actually got it? And did you have a conversation with them to understand what was the outcome that they had in their mind? Was it like they had too much stuff going on and wanted to pick it up in something and just go? Like, what's the main pattern for the people that use your product? Because I think it's incredible.
That's a great question. It's making me think on my feet.
I was like, my mom was the first.
Yeah, our family. But so Kickstarter. So we did a Kickstarter campaign, and for small businesses, and I don't know if I can say this or not, but I would never recommend a Kickstarter. You know what that is, right? Kickstarter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It was honestly one of the hardest things. It took, I mean, we spent probably 9 months or a year researching how to do it really well. So we took internal bets on how much we would raise in the Kickstarter. The lowest bet was 750,000, and the highest bet was, I think, 5 million, something like that. We ended up raising, our goal was 50,000. We raised $52,000. And the reason being is because, first of all, a lot of people that are our target market aren't Kickstarter. They don't understand what Kickstarter is. So we had to educate people first on even what Kickstarter was to even get the traction going. But the other thing with Kickstarter that a lot of people don't realize is if you don't dump at least $100,000 to $150,000 into marketing, you will not have a, few $100,000 successful campaign. And so for us, we're a startup. We didn't have that kind of money. And so we put in, as much as we did, tens of thousands of dollars into the marketing of it. And thank God we funded at 52,000, or we would have gotten nothing, because it's either all or nothing on Kickstarter. So all that to say, one thing that we said is we will never be those people who fund on Kickstarter and don't deliver when promised. We were those people who did not deliver when promised. Yeah. We completely, because what happened was our product was more expensive than we thought. And so our Kickstarter backers waited 2 years to get their product. They were awesome. Only 2 people wanted a refund, which was really, really kind of our backers. But it was a hard process. So a lot of the early adopters of this were people who believe in Stacey and I, to be really honest. They know that we are really hard workers, and we'll kind of like bulldogs, like we'll do whatever we have to do, like sell our house and get an RV to make something successful. And so, but the people who are buying now are not just our friends and family. Now it's actual people who are strangers who we don't know. So we're beginning to get traction, through e-commerce and through social media and through, those types of things. And those kinds of people are early adopters to products. So they want the latest and greatest, the newest, the coolest, or they live at the beach. So our wheels are literally the only wheels, and we have an exclusive on these for anything in the beach in the US, but they're the only wheels that aren't air filled, don't require air, and actually roll on soft sand. And so people who live at the beach and have to carry stuff to the beach and then want a seat once they get there, a lot of those people have been early adopters of this product.
That's awesome. And I'm sorry to hear about the Kickstarter thing. Go ahead, Stacey.
No, I was saying, and it's men and women. It's just not men. It's a lot of women ordering them to take their kids to the beach, and so I mean, the demographics is, it's very interesting to watch who's ordering and why they're ordering.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you regarding the website. It's so mainly my background is that I was tweaking websites for paying the rent, let's say. 12, 13 years ago, I was building my own e-commerce, and I was tweaking the website because we couldn't afford to pour money into ads. Mm-hmm. And the question that I have for you is, where is your own, let's say, story in video? Because what I see here is the text on your about us, and I think your story is one of the coolest stories that I've heard. And we are meeting a lot of e-commerce entrepreneurs, and I think the storytelling should be outstanding. And to give you some glimpses of what you could do is like, there are these companies in the health industry where we have, for instance, one of our customers called Your Super, and the founders, they've actually started to use the ingredients because one of them was discovered that he had cancer. So he started to build up the products and to do all these mixes because he was fighting for his life with his fiancée at that moment, and they've actually discovered what was working. And this story is first of all, it's authentic, and on the other hand, the brands are now built on top of the human beings behind those brands. And I think this is an undervalued strategy for new brands, because behind every brand there's a story, and behind every story there's let's say a myriad of let's say reasons why you will become emotionally involved with the product. And I think this type of story in your trip, I envision you making this let's say always changing, and like Juliana said, you need to document this activity, because you're not you're the vivid expression that entrepreneurship lives. I mean, it's a thing. And on the other hand, you can be all in and still have your smile on your face, because the definition of the entrepreneur, I've been doing this for, I don't know, 2 decades already, since I was 21. And I've been in this roller coaster, and it's like, it's never ending. It's like from nirvana to, oh shit, what am I going to do? It's not going to stop. Even though you're going to be at the level where safety is there, your mind is going to trick you, because that's how your mind works. You're always going to think that, oh shit, it's going to be a complete mess, because you are all in. I mean, that's how you interpret life. And my suggestion is to have this story told on your website and on your social media, because you need to make your voice heard. And I think your product, it's actually doing a great job. So there are a lot of shitty, let's say, products which are not offering anything, but your product is outstanding, and I think your story should be told in front of the camera, and you should follow all the people that are getting on your website with your story, and tell them 245 reasons why you should be free, because you're the expression of freedom. And guess what? The products that you're selling are the expression of being free. You freaking get that with everything, and you go in the mountain, or you go at the beach.
Yeah. So my tattoo, it's so funny you said that, is Libre.
Yeah.
Spanish. It's Spanish for free. But, Valentine, I appreciate that so much. We're living our story. So I know it is unique, and I love living this story. But I will tell you, the hardships that we've encountered, I would not wish them on anyone. We have when we say we're all in, like we had a rental home that we sold to invest in our company. We had a second car that we sold. We cashed in our 401ks, our retirement accounts. We sold our home. Like Stacey said, we weren't planning on selling our home, but our company needed the funding. And we were having a hard time at the time finding investors. And so we had to. And so with that authenticity, and you're right, Stacey and I are very authentic and transparent. Unless you really believe in your product, but more importantly, yourself, I would not recommend this to anyone, because it is a very, very, very hard road that we've walked, and has created an immense amount of stress to the point of putting me in the hospital, to like all kinds of anxiety. And are we going to be able to pay our investors back? Are we going to be able to deliver to these Kickstarter backers? And fortunately, they were gracious with us, but it has been a hard road that thankfully Stacey and I love each other so much that it's drawn us closer, as opposed to created tension,
separation
between us. And I honestly I would not still be doing this if it weren't for Stacey. And I think she would say the same thing about me. It's been a hard road.
I'm sure it was, but even though this is going to get completely out of the scope of this e-commerce story, let's say, the path that you're in is not an external path. At the end of the day, we're gonna end up not being on this planet anymore. At the end of the day, the game is going to be over. And now the question for you that you've answered yes to was, are you willing to transform yourself and your life? And you've said yes. But when you've said yes, your last, let's say, persona that you've built for, I don't know, decades, you used to be buying your latte, going in the office, chit-chatting about something near the water cooler. You've been other persons, and you thought that that's who you are. But at some moment, those, let's say, the last persona, which was a mental construction, is not here anymore. Those Julie and Stacey are not here anymore. They are gone, complete gone.
That's great. Now, therapist?
No, it's not about therapy. It's about the journey that you're in.
True. I love it.
That's why it's painful. I've been in the same journey. I mean, it's not like it's the same path. It's the path of self-transformation, and it's more like a spiritual path than it is an entrepreneurial path. So what a lot of entrepreneurs are not getting is that once you find the comfort zone, you need to challenge yourself again.
Yes.
And you need to get to the next level. And too many of us are either too afraid and are going for the comfort and safety and waste their huge potential. Because I think within anyone, within ourselves, I mean, everyone has an untapped potential.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. It's always more. And if you don't have this let's say, internal mechanism to challenge the status quo, you will end up being bored and ill and dying. And when we look behind, when we will be 94 years old or whatever, you will say, okay, so I've been safe, but who cares about that? I mean, you're not gonna want not to get through these moments when you are freaking struggling and you don't know how you're gonna do this with the cash flow, with the sales, with the house, with the RV. But fact is that you love each other and you're together and you're free and you're making it. And the fact that you're doing it, I think it's let's say it's paying off eventually, and it's way more worthy, even though you are, let's say, betting everything that you had.
Wise words.
Yeah, very wise words. And I kind of wanted to piggyback on what you were saying about our website and actually putting our story out there in video. I love that idea. We may need to get to a cool place and do it when we're on the road, but we will do that. We take that advice seriously.
I will follow you and your path. So the idea is to have a map and to have map pins where you are going and what you're saying.
Put a nice cartoon with your RV.
This week, Stacey and Julie are here, and you can film each other. It's not like making the biggest production, and you get your Wanderr with you, and you show us places, because that's what the other ones, which are not courageous enough, which are sitting in an office, which have kids that should go to school or to freaking waste their time in front of the online school on Zoom, need to see, actually. We need to see real life, real stories. And you're not for real, but you need to broadcast yourselves. You need to be like a small media company.
Yeah. Thank you. We take your advice for sure.
Yeah, and what I was going to say was, so there is a human factor behind our company, but a lot of people may not realize it. When you go to the website, you go to our About Us and you see that, but there is a human factor. And so we'll get emails from we don't get any bad emails, but we've had maybe someone unhappy because they hadn't gotten their order. And Jules is so gracious and so good at this, but the way she responds is the kindest way. And all of a sudden they come back and where they were heightened, she brought them back down to go, oh, wait a minute, you are a real person. I'm talking to the owner, the founder of the company, and the way she words it is just beautifully written, where all of a sudden they lean in and say, you know what, take your time, or we understand, or I don't really understand, but thank you for taking the time to explain it to me. Even though we send out emails once every couple of weeks to all of our initial backers, maybe they went to spam and they never got them, and they would go, I hope I get my Wanderr before I die, that kind of thing. And Jules is like, oh, I hope so too. And we were impatient. We're in the world of Amazon, so everything is immediate. Yeah. And people don't realize what it takes to take a product to market. We have a product that has 147 components to it. It's not just a piece of paper. It's not a t-shirt. It's something that does all these. It's a transformer. I
love that. That's great.
Yeah. And so, it does take someone behind the computer to sit back and say, you know what, we understand. We've been in this place for the last 6 weeks waiting for our RV that was supposed to leave the factory 6 weeks ago. And so we get it. We've been frustrated. We've been on that side as a customer. And so we understand the frustration.
It's karma. It's karma.
It's karma, right? It just came back and bit me right in the ass.
It always does. It always does. But I think you guys should just take a picture of the Wanderr in different places in the US and just place it there and just take a picture of it. Just a postcard. Yeah. And you can send that to your clients or to your early adopters or the people that are waiting. Just a picture with hi from, I don't know, New York, or hi from California, or whatever. I think it's awesome. And I think you guys will have a lot to share with the audience.
Another thing is to make this entertaining and interactive. You can build a small community of people that will decide where you should be going next on the map. You are here, and they could vote because you are wandering around. That's what you do.
Maybe we'll do that next year.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
We're gonna get what we call our sea legs in the RV. I love that idea.
That much power.
I love it.
They're gonna send you to Nebraska or Wisconsin, where it's so cold. Right.
Yeah,
you don't need that. There's no need there. So, just to kind of go back to whatever we're talking, because at this point I don't even care. This is so good. Tell me, what are some main things you guys are dealing with when it comes to e-commerce and all these changes, all the software, all these agencies, all these people that are promising you they're gonna change your life forever. I'm fed up with them as well. So, as you know from my content, you probably know that I'm fed up.
I love it. If anybody does not follow you who's on this page right now, they need to follow you on LinkedIn, because I love your content.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are speaking my language. I get so tired of people promising me they're going to do everything, and then they're crickets. We don't hear back from them. If they don't follow through, they want to charge you at least $10,000 a month. That's the going number here. They're a startup themselves. They have no experience. And it's just like, for the love, people, you do what you say you're going to do. And if not, communicate, over communicate with me. I mean, we have spent so much time and money built on empty promises.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely a challenge, is finding the right partners, ones that share our values, because that's really important to us, but also ones who do what they say they're going to do. And it's, I think this world is full of a lot of people who, want to make the sale, and then they don't follow up with the work that they're going to do. And I don't even, so to me, because we didn't deliver on our promise, right? For the Kickstarter, we said we would deliver it and we didn't. So to me, it's not even about always delivering on your promise. It's about being in communication. And so if you're going to be late, okay, no problem. Just let me know. Just keep me in the loop of what's going on.
Be responsive.
Be responsive. But I think, exactly. But I think in the world of e-commerce, to try to really answer your question, it is so hard to know what we need to do to reach the right target. It's literally hard to do that. And who do we trust? Because that's not our expertise, So who do we trust to be able to come to us and say, hey, all right, here's your product. Okay, who's your audience? Okay, that's your audience. This is what you need to do. Do we need to do email? Do we need to do SMS? Do we need to do Facebook ads? Do we need to do Instagram ads? Do we need to do Pinterest? Do we need to do Clubhouse? Do we need to do, literally there are so many options, and all of them could be good, or it could be a huge bust, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody, depending on what their area of expertise is going to tell you, oh, you should definitely have your email list, and that should be your focus. But then the SMS people are going, nope, it's moving to SMS. Don't worry about email. You need to do SMS. But then I'm the kind of SMS customer where if you're blowing up my text message, I don't want to be a part of your brand, right? So now I'm going, well, wait, my internal dialogue is telling me not to go SMS, but everybody's saying, well, you should. So it's really challenging. And then people are saying, well, don't do trade shows, because trade shows cost a lot of money and maybe don't get you the bang for your buck. But then other people are saying trade shows are where it's at. So it's literally trying to weed out what the best thing is for us and to try it and then be ready to quickly pivot, right? We've become friggin' professional dancers with how much we've had to pivot, but then quickly pivot if it's not working.
Yeah, that's.
Does that make sense? Is that what asked? Yeah.
Yeah, and what I suggest you, if I can, I've been doing this e-commerce for 15 years now. I've been working with all sorts of companies, from startups which had like one employee and to huge companies which are making more than 1.5 billion in sales. I've been consulting them. I've been looking at what they are doing, and there was one moment that completely blew my mind. It was 2 years ago. I've met this guy, Bob Moesta. He used to be, let's say, he's the pioneer of the jobs to be done theory, together with Clay Christensen, which is an absolute master in. He wrote The Innovator's Dilemma and whatever. Yeah. So for me, it was like completely blew my mind. After this workshop, after these 2 days workshop, I was with Juliana as well. After this 2 days workshop, I was taking notes, and I got the whole company, and I said, I was freaking wrong for the whole time. And what was the realization is that we are seeing individuals as predictable creatures, and we wrongly think that, I don't know, this freaking object, this is an object that I'm buying it's like a buzzer when I'm distracted and I have to do creative work. It's like a buzz that I keep with me, and it has some machine learning, and he's buzzing me if I'm distracted and I'm going waste. But I'm not buying this because I'm a 40 years old entrepreneur that has 2 kids and lives in the outskirts of Bucharest. So if you try to sell this because I'm from Bucharest and I have 2 kids, you're going to be completely wrong. The reason that I'm buying it, so the underlying reason that I'm buying it is that I want to be reaching my let's say, best flow state like this. without going waste, because I know that I'm too creative to be productive. You know, I can't stay freaking focused. And I'm using a lot of stuff to do this. I'm meditating for half an hour in the morning. I'm doing sports. I'm using this freaking device and whatever. So the let's say this disease that it's in the marketing and in the e-commerce is that you go to Facebook ads and you select the targeting, how many years old, from which location, and whatever. It's not that. So the cause that I'm doing this is that if the ad will say, are you from Bucharest, then you should buy this, it's going to be a complete mess, right? But if the ad says, are you freaking tired not to stay focused for the whole day and look at the watch and find out that it's 7 p.m. and you haven't even started to do the most important thing that you've decided in the morning,
then you need to fire Juliana. because that's his biggest distraction.
So Juliana is like I don't know, is like a hired hitman, you know. She's finding me on all the channels that you can imagine. But I don't. The underlying let's say fact that I wanted to emphasize for you is that unless you find where are the people and what they are doing and when is the moment that they are struggling because, I don't know, they have sand on their wheels or they need to carry all these bags and all the things with them. If you don't find that moment, that struggle, and if you're not there to solve those problems, if you don't put your message in front of them and you go down the spiral route where you are just wasting money on ads for people that you think they are your target, then it's I think you're gonna be wrong about it. And I've been wrong again for, I don't know, 20 years of not 20, 17 years. You know, I wrongly thought that you need to find the buyer persona and put the right message, but the idea is that you need to find the job that the product is doing. And when that struggle occurs, when is that struggle and how can you find the people which are struggling with that? And the best moments for you, I would go, if I were you and if I would be so free like you are, I would go on the beach, you know, and I would go exactly there and I would ask people and I would hand out flyers because it's the cheapest way and they are already there. And you should plant those seeds. If you talk with 200 people per day, both of you, and if you are actually showcasing your thing, that's the cheapest thing. You don't have to pay Facebook ads for, I don't know, 30 cents a click for someone that you don't know if it's in that moment in his life when he's struggling to carry all those freaking things.
Yeah. And what you sold me on that thing, I need a shocker.
Okay.
You are a salesman.
Yeah, but that's Valentine. You're exactly right, and that's exactly why we're getting in the RV. Because this product is great for RVers as well, and so we are going to be in and out and among our customers. We want to get to know them. We want them to get to know us. We want them to know that OME Gear, back to that human element that we were talking about. We want to meet people, and then once we meet people, then show them our product, right? We want to lead with the relationship. And then if they're interested, then say, yeah, we have this product. That's what's always been really successful for us, to just genuinely be interested in people. And then if they're interested in our product, that's great. But yeah, that's exactly why we're doing the RV trip.
I think it's fucking amazing. And also one thing that you should find out when you talk to these people is to understand what are they using to do the job for now that the product does. So what are they replacing the job with? Because I'm assuming it's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be a chair and a backpack, or a chair and a bag, or a little cooler and the chair. Like, you have to understand what is, because sometimes the competition is not another chair. Sometimes the competition that you have is probably, because that's the thing.
3 different products.
Exactly, that have nothing to do with each other. Is the classic, I guess, example of the milkshake from McDonald's. The milkshake from McDonald's, were, they were thinking they're competing with the Burger King of milkshake, but actually, after doing these jobs to be done research, they found out that people were only buying the milkshake in the morning, and it was competing with a donut, it was competing with a bagel, and it was competing with total different things. Exactly, yeah. So I'm gonna send you the link for that case study. It's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes you don't compete with other products. You compete with whatever the customer uses to solve that job that your product does. So I think that's gonna be an interesting find. And I'm just gonna probably, spam you and ask you, what did you find out? What did you find out?
You can spam us anytime. We want to be very, very open and transparent with anyone who may be interested in buying our product, because our product's not for everyone. It is a heavier product. So if you have trouble lifting 25 pounds, this product might not be for you. And it's not that you have to lift it. You might have to lift it into a car or, something like that. But you take the wheels off. It's 30 pounds, and you take the wheels off. And so it's 26 pounds. So it may not be for everyone. And we know that. And so we're very transparent. We're very honest with people that write us and say, how heavy is it? And we try to get a little background, and they're like, well, let me know when you do a lighter version, and we want to be a customer of yours, and we're going to continue to follow us, but we're going to continue to follow you. But it's just being honest with your customers or potential customers to say this product may not be for you because it may be a little heavy.
But the good news is that the job is still the same one that Jules' dad was trying to solve, because jobs don't change.
Yeah,
so that's the good thing. Like, products come and go, technologies come and go, they disappear, they whatever, but the job is still the same. So I think you guys are still very close to fulfilling Jules' dad's dream, because it's the same job, and I'm just excited for you guys. So where are you going first in your trip?
Well, first we're going to go to Kitty Hawk. We've partnered with New Belgium brewery here in the United States.
Okay.
And so we will be going to Kitty Hawk up in the North Carolina Outer Banks. There's some islands out there. And so they're doing a big kite festival. It's on the largest sand dune in the Southeast, or maybe even on the East Coast. And so this is really where we can showcase the tires. We've been there, we tested there, and had about 80 pounds of gear up on our Wanderr, and no problem over the soft sand. So that's our first stop. And then we head down to Miami after that.
That's awesome. My husband's family is from Miami.
Yeah.
They're different there. In Florida.
They build it differently.
No, I'm always giving my husband hell, because that joke with the Florida man, right? So sometimes, when he pisses me off, because, we in Romania have our own Florida news, because we're not very different than Florida in Romania here. So when my husband is trolling me, I'm also, starting with Florida man that microwaved the cat or was trying to fight a crocodile or stuff like that. I think, besides my craziness for this podcast, which is totally, misplaced tonight, I have a question here from Elaine. And Elaine, I'm so sorry that I kept you waiting for so long. It's just that I like to hear myself talking, apparently. Elaine is asking you guys, do you have a schedule to publish of your travels? Like, do you have some sort of, I think this is what she's asking, like if you have a schedule to publish your travels.
So I want to answer this because Elaine is a dear friend of mine. Elaine.
Okay.
I'm so glad you're on this. It's been too long. We need to catch up. But yes, we have a blog on our website, and it's sorry, I think I'm going to go.
Let me share it.
Yep. So it's linked on our website, the blog, and we'll be posting our itinerary for the first 3 or 4 months there. But on our blog, we'll always be updating our itinerary of where we're going to be, so that we can connect with people along the road.
So we'll be putting out the first 3-month itinerary probably in the next couple of weeks.
Cool. I'm going to make sure to drop the link to your blog in our episode notes, so people, that hear you guys can stalk you properly. And,
sounds perfect. We love to be stalked in the right way.
Well, since this is an e-commerce podcast, our show. We also have a children's book we wrote, and we have an e-commerce site for that too.
Oh, tell me.
So
what's the name of it?
It's called Rescued by Rico. And it is about a dog that we adopted from Puerto Rico. His name was Rico, and we had him for about 5 months. And he was super sick, and we got him back to health. And then he crossed the Rainbow Bridge. And so it's our story to talk about Rico and how he got here and him crossing the Rainbow Bridge. So that was our COVID project. We produced the book and coloring book and little Rico dog. So yeah, now we're like all in e-commerce, everything.
Oh my God, but this is so awesome.
I love the illustration. Do you do them yourself, or you have an illustrator?
No, we have an
voice. I see.
Yeah, voice. She's awesome. She's in Charleston and crazy talented. We wanted to do it right, and so that's why we hired her, and she's exceptional. Mm-hmm.
That's
and
excellent.
You got a little stuffed dog too. That's so cute.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. Yo. Wow. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I didn't make that type of research that deep over, but I would have been probably weird if I knew that too. Like, okay, she knows too much.
I love it.
Okay, so this. Sorry, Valentin.
Juliana, ladies first, please. Anyway, okay. I do recall that at the beginning you've said, I promise this is the only question that I have. 16 questions after.
Okay, Valentin, go ahead.
No. Ladies first, please.
I even forgot what I wanted to ask you.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you before making Juliana forget what she wanted to ask you was if you can share with our audience, with other entrepreneurs which are, I don't know, struggling, they are in that bottom, there is this place called the messy middle, it's that thing that nobody talks about it. Everyone is showcasing, yes, I'm going to start, I'm going to do this and that. Or they say, we just raised 20 million, we just hit whatever ROI on Facebook ads and whatever. But nobody's talking about the messy middle. So how you've got through the messy middle? What are some tips and tricks that you can share with e-commerce entrepreneurs which are struggling?
Great question.
I just had this thought about quicksand, and they say that, you just, and maybe that's not a great analogy because they say not to move because then you're going to sink. But I think with us, it's okay. I'll even give a better one. They talk about a frog like swimming around in a vat of cream, and he keeps swimming, but he doesn't realize that he's creating butter. He's churning butter. So eventually he gets on top. And so to me, I think that's where Jules and I have been. We've been down to the messy middle, to the dirty bottom. We've been in every part of the barrel, and it's just we just keep going. We get up every day, and you said we have a picture, and it says we will rise singing every single day, and we can't worry about what happened yesterday, and we can't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. We have to focus on the now and just keep going. And even if you're stuck at the bottom or in the messy middle, you will get to the top if you just keep going.
The only thing I would add to that is one of the things that I've learned from Stacey is step away from the computer, step away from your job, step away from your company, step away from your product, and go do something that fills you. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you will have nothing left to give your company, other people, your family, the people that you love, if you don't first invest in you. And so I think what I'm learning, I'm not sure that I've fully learned it, but put the computer lid down and go for a walk, or go out to the beach. When you have the most to do and you're so overwhelmed, that's the best time to walk away from your computer. Because we have to, as humans, our tank gets empty, and then we think we just need to keep going, but eventually you're literally going to run out of gas. And so if you don't invest in yourself. That is hands down the most important thing. Just like if you don't love yourself, you cannot love other people, and you cannot be loved well by other people. So it literally is, it feels really selfish, but it's actually the most selfless thing you can do is to invest in yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, then you will have the energy and the strength and the fortitude to keep going on this road that is incredibly rocky and incredibly hard. So anyway, I think we teach each other all the time different things, and that's definitely one of the things that Stacey has taught me.
Yeah, I think it's quite fortunate for you to let's say go through the messy middle together, because you can lean on each other. For me, if I can add on what you've told, it was 2017. I was surrounded by a lot of colleagues. I have the greatest and most patient wife ever. I had some incredible kids, and I was so attached so identified with my expectations about where the company should be, and I was passing through this burnout, which I wasn't aware about. And I've done exactly what you're stating here, Jules, that I stopped disconnecting from the computer, from the work, and I was getting into this downward spiral where I've wrongfully thought that who am I is it's equal to the results of my company with the numbers. If I have such and such growth, if I have such and such revenue, profit, whatever. And I think it's such a let's say wrong assumption, and that's of course having to do with your image, with who's your character. And I think that's a lot. Michael Gerber talks about this. If you have a life plan, you should include the business plan in the life plan.
Yes.
But not vice versa.
Yes.
Many entrepreneurs are falling into this trap, and they think that they should have a business plan, and the life plan should be over there as well. I mean, they should leave some room for their life as well. But it's actually vice versa.
Yeah.
The character of an entrepreneur is being built by who am I, and I'm way bigger than my role as an entrepreneur. Of course, I'm not identified with that, and I had to suffer like crazy for months, and to be alone within this period, even though I was surrounded by such amazing people around me, just because I wrongfully thought that I'm not gonna be valuable unless I'm gonna get to these freaking numbers, which are sandcastle at the end of the day.
Yep. That's, again, wise words. Yep, I love it.
That's what Valentin, does. That's why, every day I hear some of these things, and that's why I'm, one of the reasons why, I'm trying to behave so he doesn't fire me.
She's crazy,
I think everyone by now has came to the consideration that I'm not necessarily uncrazy. I don't know what's same. I think everyone is in agreement. But I also want to say, for the record and for our podcast listeners, that back when Valentin was dealing with all these things, I was not working for Omnicommerce, so it's not.
She was not the reason why.
I wasn't the reason why.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm just happy you guys came and you shared with us, and it's just I'm in a very good relationship myself with my partner, and I always tell him every day that I couldn't go through all this shit without him, and I wouldn't know what to do with myself without him, because I wouldn't, like, I cannot even think. I don't even have memories that don't include him anymore. So I just want to say that above everything, the struggles and the beautiful story around your business, I think the most beautiful thing is what you guys have. And that's what keeps you guys, strong, and keeps everyone, I guess, gravitating around you because it's pure and it's genuine. I love that. So thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. I apologize for my shenanigans.
Don't.
It's just I should probably make like a PDF one pager that to give to guests, like just beware, something like that.
Don't ever change being you. Honestly, that is what makes you so attractive. So don't ever change your awesome personality.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. And I think you gave us, in my opinion, you gave us a great reminder. That we should, I guess, appreciate what we have more and try to go more to find ourselves and spend time with ourselves and with the loved ones instead of just being, deep in this hustle culture. And I'm going through a similar phase right now when I'm just like trying to separate myself from everything. So it kind of hit home and got emotional for me along the way. So thank you so much for this beautiful reminder.
Yeah, you're welcome, for sure. Thank you guys for asking us to be in this awesome show. We feel completely honored to be a part of this.
So like we have 2 new friends.
I know.
Oh yeah. Look, Alexandra says she has a good vibe.
That's let's put more of those good vibes out into this world, right?
Yeah,
we need more of that.
And we're waiting on the videos, and I'm gonna drop this episode for the people here. I'm gonna drop this episode tomorrow, and you guys will find all the goodies and links and the book. And I'm just thank you for being here. I'm excited. This was a great episode. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for watching as well, and Valentin.
Thank you as well, Jules and Stacey, for being with us today. Godspeed. May we hear cool stories from your trips, and may we also hear that Wanderr is doing wonders and is coming to Europe as well for us.
I love it. It will. Watch out for it. It'll be over there.
We'll let you know.
All right.
We're gonna get you to sell it.
That's right.
I will do a video testimonial. That's for sure. So once we got it, excellent. Yeah. So bye everyone, and thanks for being today with us.
Thank you so much.
Bye.